Alrighty, good day to you all. For today's video, I'm going to be making a video response to the question of the week, number 44. If you guys haven't seen that video, I basically posed a question concerning education. I wanted to know, what does education mean to you? What does it mean to be an educated person? All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start off. This is my response. And the first thing I want to do is look up these two terms. And I'm going to use this dictionary here, education and educated. So I'm going to look up education first. Alrighty. So education, which is a noun, the process by which your mind develops through learning at a school, college, or university. That's the first definition, by the way. The second definition here is the knowledge and skills that you gain from being taught. And then they have a college education. All right, so now let's look up educated, which is an adjective. Intelligent because you have been taught or trained somewhere. And educated in the sense of the woman, Harvard educated, Oxford educated, etc. So those are the terms, the definition. Those are definitions for those particular terms. And I feel that those are great definitions. However, I believe that one shouldn't believe that those are the only ways to become educated. Just because you go to a university, an institution, and acquire a degree or some sort of certification, it doesn't mean that you're fully educated. Sure, you are educated. Why? Because you've acquired a lot of knowledge. You spent a lot of time going through that process, and obviously during that process you learned a lot. So that is definitely part of the process. I feel that that is not the only way to become educated. I've met many people, or I've seen people who have never been to college. They've never been to college. Even some who have like dropped out of high school, but they have acquired a lot of knowledge through self-study and experience. Okay, so it's not always good to go solely from the dictionary when looking up certain terms. Okay, so those are just my thoughts on these two definitions. Now, my definition of what it means to be an educated person, or what education is basically when you go through a process and you acquire knowledge. Okay, not just going through a university or some sort of institution, but also self-study. You do research on your own, and you acquire the knowledge about a particular topic that you didn't have knowledge of before. This is education. You building up your knowledge about certain things to become a better person. All this is education. Okay. Now, sure, not everyone has the drive, the motivation to do this, but we all need to be aware that being an autodidact, which is someone who does things independently, they study, they learn certain things independently, that's part of education as well. Okay, so that's what education is to me, and being educated, going through that particular process, acquiring the knowledge. The other question is, do I consider myself an educated person? Yes, I do. Why? Because my experiences. And I feel that everyone is educated to a certain extent. If you went through elementary school, middle school, high school, you've acquired some education. So therefore, you've become educated to a certain extent. If I didn't go through that process, I wouldn't be able to read. I wouldn't be able to write. I wouldn't know basic math and a lot of other things I've learned in high school, middle school. So if you went through that process, you are educated to a certain extent. However, my education didn't stop there. I decided to further my education, learn more things to better my life, to become a better person. All right. So yeah, so I'm still learning. My education is still going on. It's a lifelong process. It never ends, and this is what makes life so great, is because knowledge is endless. You can find knowledge about anything, and continue to learn about it until the day you die. So I'm bettering myself, growing every day, every time I learn something new. All right. So I think it's important to do this, especially as a parent. You know, I have two daughters. I want to pass down the education I received. So it's important for me to stay motivated to become more and more and more and more educated as an individual. So for my children, for my peers, friends, or anyone I have close contact with, it's important for me to have certain knowledge so I can, you know, teach it to them. Um, you know, just basically be a positive influence to them. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. That is my response. That's how I feel about education and being educated. So if you guys haven't seen that video, or this is your first time seeing this, feel free to make a video response and give us your definition of what it means to be an educated person, or what education means, or just make a comment in the comment area. So that is it for this video. I'll post this as a response to that video I made last week. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, thanks for viewing, and talk to you guys shortly.